Hey, good morning, TikTok. Happy Friday. Oh, wait. It's not Friday. I'm getting ahead of myself. But happy Friday Eve. I'm gigging. I'm a little excited because I saw that 10-minute mark. They added 10 minutes. We can do 10-minute talks now. Y'all gonna hear my voice for 10 minutes? I'm bugging as if anyone, like, this is my podcast. This is my podcast. If I had a podcast, this is it. Today I wanted to talk about what is being termed the Montgomery Brawl, I believe. I know the name has evolved in a few days. It's changed a lot since August 5th, so I think that Montgomery Brawl is what it's currently being branded as. That folding chair is iconic. Put that thing in the National Museum of African American History ASAP. Anyway, there are a few comments made about that situation that I want to address. Again, I'm just a random lady on the internet. My opinion matters not. But I feel like as a black woman, someone who's been black all my life and has had a black experience in America, I just want to comment on this. So there was a comment made that a man hit a woman over the head with a chair. And while I never condone violence against the opposite sex, I think that on a biological level, on average, men are a lot stronger than women on a biological, scientific level. They just have more muscle mass than us. They're stronger than we are. They're typically bigger than we are. So no man should be putting their hands on a woman. I do not condone that at all. At all. However, as a mom of a son, I also don't condone women putting their hands on men. Okay, because women like to get on here and say, men can't put their hands on women, they should absolutely not put their hands on women. And that's true. That's absolutely true. But do not expect somebody not to defend themselves if you're putting your hands on them. In this situation in particular, as everyone knows, because we've all seen the footage, this man who hit this woman with a chair, not only did she try to hit him first, but he was defending himself. He was not the aggressor. He didn't go after her with the chair. He wasn't following her. He wasn't, trying to initiate any conflict with this woman. He was defending himself. So all I'm saying is when you fuck around, you might find out. And all of them, FA and FO, that day, leave people alone. And let's be very clear, this whole situation would not have escalated had other folks listened to the man who was doing his job. Black security guard doing his job. He asked you to undock the boat so that the other boat could have some space to dock. Simple, right? Real simple. But no, people had to test authority, assert their position in society, and people who aren't used to being told that what they're doing is not the right way to do something, when it's just really not. Everything's not always going to go your way. And so when you tell somebody who's used to having everything go their way, who's used to always being in the right, that they're wrong, that they have to do something opposite of the norm for them, it becomes a problem. And so the whole situation could have honestly been de-escalated, would have never even got that big had all of these people, especially the one person who was in control of the boat, just moved the boat. It would have all been avoided. It would have all been avoided. But I think that what people are seeing from this is that black people are tired. We're tired. And we're also not going to take any more of y'all's BS. We're not doing it no more. It's 2023. These are aggressions and very egregious behaviors that really, quite honestly, should not be going on anyway. But especially not in 2023. This is not the early 1900s. This is not 1860. Okay, this is not 1800s, not 1700s. We are no longer slaves. We are no longer segregated, typically on paper. We have rights, and you're going to treat me with the same equal rights that I'm supposed to have. So if I'm doing a job and I'm telling you, hey, you need to move this, sir, so that other people can have space to do this, just move your stuff out the way. The world, you don't own the world. Give other people some room. Your little boat that need that room anyway. So that's the first thing. Next thing I want to address is the black response to said situation. We've seen the videos. We've seen the young man who jumped off the boat into the water and swam to the fight. The 16-year-old boy who swam to the fight, Michael Evans Phelps. We've seen him. Yup. We've seen him. The folding chair. The memes have been funny. I'm not even going to hold you. I can't even listen. For the past day or two, yeah, I'll be honest. I got work done Monday, but it was hard because those memes were memeing. They were memeing, okay? And I think that a lot of people, we sometimes when situations happen like this, as a member of the black community, and just honestly as myself, I'm honestly a little naturally goofy, but especially as a black person, I feel like we typically take our pain and we laugh at it. it's what we've done with the N-word, right? Like, it's a word that has been used in a very derogatory way to dehumanize us, to make us less than, to in racist ways against us. But we've taken that word back, and some people use it in an empowering way. That's my nigga. That's my homeboy. Like, that's my guy. That's my friend. My dude. Don't nobody else need to be using that word, because why would you want to? Because the connotation it has. And I'm not even saying that I use the word like that, but for those in my community who do use it, I understand, because it's you taking back something negative and reclaiming it and having ownership over it, giving it a new positive meaning to yourself. Y'all don't understand. If we don't do that, we quite literally will go crazy. And I will speak for myself. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at situations. When life be life, sometimes you gotta laugh at it, because sometimes that stuff be funny. Because if you cry about it, you're going to be crying all the time, okay? When I tell you life has been lifing for me all my life, but especially in these last few years, if you don't laugh about some stuff, you're going to be a miserable person. And as a black person in America, we got to laugh about some stuff. So yes, the memes were memeing, and they were funny. Yup. So for anybody that said that we don't take stuff seriously, it's not that we don't take anything seriously. It's just that on an epigenetic level, we've been having to deal with bullshit and have been having to smile in the face of bullshit for hundreds of years. So when you're having to smile in the face of bullshit for your literal survival, that shit becomes funny after a while. And it's like, okay, sweat on my back, Live to see another day. It is what it is. Not going to continue crying about it. Not going to continue whining about it. Y'all already saw what happened. If you can mess around if you want to, but you might mess around and find out. And my final thing in regards to messing around and finding out. I also want to go back to a previous statement where I said that we were slaves. We were not slaves. We were enslaved people, because slavery was our circumstance, was not us. Now that's out of the way, I want to get back to my final point, which is in regards to the term that I hear a lot of black people say this, but we are not our ancestors. Like, I get the intent behind it. I think that, and this is my understanding of the term. When people say we are not our ancestors, they're basically implying that they are not going to take the amount of flack that our ancestors took from Caucasian people in America. Now, I have some issues with this statement. I have issues with the statement because we would be honored to be our ancestors. Our ancestors endured some things that I don't know if I could honestly endure. For real. Like, that stuff is crazy. To not be able to work in certain establishments, to not be able to use the same restroom. I can't use the same water fountain as you. I might die if I go to a certain part of the country. There were literal green books that outlined my travels so that I could have a safe trip from north to south. Sundown towns were a real thing. People watching black people getting lynched for enjoyment, like it was a Sunday movie, was a real thing. People not being able to go to restaurants, people getting hosed with dogs, people getting arrested because they sat in different sections of the bus, the public bus that we all pay into, were real things. So I will never say I'm not my ancestors. Instead, what I'd like to say is I think we are our ancestors' wildest dreams, because I feel like the level of freedom that we enjoy present day, while it still needs a lot of work, be very clear about that, while it still needs a considerable amount of work, it's a level of freedom that I don't know if my ancestors ever, I don't know if they ever conceptualized that we would be so free. And I think that's an amazing thing. But I also think that my ancestors were strong as shit. Like, my granddaddy, Sonny, was strong as shit. Okay, he was with the smoke, with all the. His son, my dad, also with all the smoke, to the point where he was honorably discharged from the military for being a burden to command, because he was like, no, I see y'all got us doing all this stuff, but the white people not doing all this stuff. How is this fair? They had them doing all the hard labor too. Meanwhile, the other guys, same rank and everything, just watching them. My dad was in he was in the Navy, and God rest his soul. God rest both of their souls. But yeah, to say that we are not our ancestors, I would be honored to be my ancestors. So I think we need to do that one. I just like to say I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. I will hope that when my parents and my grandparents and everybody beyond them look down on me, that they smile at the changes and the things that I'm doing in my life with myself and my son. And those are my thoughts. My unsolicited thoughts that you didn't ask for on the Montgomery Raw.